Hello my loves, it's great to be here with you again, and in this video I would like to share with you an experience that happened to me a couple of days ago. It was extremely interesting experience that took me deeper in my own journey to self-discovery, and I'm bringing to your attention this experience because you can use this as a map, my experience, to apply it on yourself. So my main agenda in here is for you to listen to me and use me as a story, as an example, but definitely apply this method on yourself. And you might experience and you might discover something about yourself that will bring you so many connections. It's going to connect the dots. It did connect the dots for me in many ways. As most of you know, I'm an esthetician practicing and also have a course in manual facelift. And this is what I do, and this is what I love to do. I love to bring people's faces up with the hands in a natural way, and I love teaching my students how to do it. However, if I'm gonna go a little deeper underneath, one of my absolute favorite things in the world to do is actually self-discovery, where it comes from, where our needs as humans come from, why we like different things. Is there a root cause for it, or it's circumstantial what happened in our life that we're gravitating to certain things? So all that for me is extremely interesting because it allows you to find a new dimensions into your own persona. And I think we are like, we're born as a buds, and then we open and we help ourselves open like a beautiful roses for ourselves and learn as much about ourselves as possible. Whatever we see on the surface clearly is not what we have deep inside us, and the more tools we have to go inside and find out who we really are, the better life experience is going to be. So not to bore you too much about the story about myself, I will have to go a little bit in the depth of my personality and my life experience, so you could use me as an example, as I told you. So a couple of days ago, I had my first Reiki session. I met this lady. By the way, she has no idea that I'm going to make this video. I'm going to tell her to watch it, but she never paid me. It's not sponsored, zero, nothing. It's my experience that I'm bringing it to you so you could try to use the process. So I'm meeting this absolutely incredible lady, and she happens to be a Reiki specialist, and I'm booking the session. Now I'm the kind of person who will try everything and believe in nothing until I have an evidence. If you're my student right now, you think, Elena, what you're talking about, you always talk about transaction of energy from yourself to client. Correct, I talk about energy a lot. However, in the end of the facial, I have evidence. My clients' faces are lifted. If you're my student, your clients' faces are lifted. What it is, it's evidential. We have before, we have after, we have different evidence. But things like a Reiki, where I thought there was no actual evidence, I'm a Leo, and in a human design, I'm a generator. So, by the way, if you haven't done yourself a human design chart, check it out. It's fun. It's free. Just type human design in Google and it's going to give you a chart, and you put your information in there and they tell you a little bit about yourself. You don't have to take it at a face value, but it's kind of interesting to look into it. A human design, it's completely free. So many companies do it. Try it. So I'm a person who is curious but doubtful until I have an evidence. So she started the Reiki session, and the first thing that she told me, now I was not educated. I thought it was massage. And I realized very quickly it's not massage. She touches you, but not in an intense way. She doesn't use your muscles. She uses your energy, right? So the first thing she's telling me is, she says, your body is communicating with me and telling me what kind of bullshit is this? Why am I here? And what the heck is going on? And I just smiled, but I absolutely adored her from the moment I saw her. So I surrendered, but I'm sure my body was telling her that, because that would be very much like me to say, oh, I don't know until I see the difference. So during the Reiki session, there was a couple of moments that I felt physically things were shifting and moving in my body. So that was very interesting, and I started to open up to it. There was a certain physical sensations that I have never experienced before, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then she's asking me, so pretty much this is where story starts, so you could trace it. She's asking me, who did you want to be as a child? What did you like to play with as a child? And I was like, well, I like to play with kids, and I wanted to be probably ballerina. And then she said, no, before that, as a completely little child. And I said, oh, I don't know. I never thought about it. And I kind of let it go. I let it go for two reasons. A, I really remember very little about my childhood. And B, because I was afraid that if I'm going to tell her who I wanted to be as a child, I'm going to spook her away. And I will tell you in this video who I wanted to be as a child. And it's not as spooky as I thought it was. But when you process that information, it's not as spooky as I thought it was. So I started, after the Reiki session, I was a little bit in haze, and then I was energetically purging, and then clarity came to my mind. And yes, I wanted to be a ballerina, and I actually became ballerina, but it was not me who wanted it. It was my parents who wanted me to become a ballerina. I went to a ballet academy, I graduated ballet academy, and in my diploma it says ballet artist, ballerina. Then I danced in theater, so technically I was a ballerina. But if you dig a little deeper, honestly, guys and girls, I was not built to be a ballerina. I mean, I had amazing education. I learned how to present myself in public. I'm not scared of public. I'm not scared of public speaking. I'm not scared of public appearances. And that I learned from being on stage as a young child. But I always had to struggle with my weight, and I was severely bulimic, and there was a lot of health issues because I had to keep my weight down while I wasn't built to be that person. So when I started to really think about it, ballet came pretty difficult to me. I had to starve my old childhood to maintain the weight. And I realized later that it was not my dream, because if it was my dream, I probably would have some kind of significance in that art, and I really don't. I graduated, I danced a little bit, I got injured, and bye-bye. Then I started to think what I wanted to be before ballerina, and I remember that I really loved chemist ampules and alchemy, and that is not a very strange thing, because my father, who I've seen only like 4 times in my life, he was chemist actually by trade. So I guess that's genetics that came out in me. And then now I will tell you what I really wanted to be when I was a little girl. So as every little girl, I was read stories by my grandmother. My grandmother raised me, and she would read me stories about Cinderella, Brother Grimm, Hans Christian Andersen, those famous storytellers, Georgian national stories, Russian stories, because I'm from Republic of Georgia, so we are duolingual and we can read stories. And no story ever touched me. I never wanted to be Cinderella. I never wanted to be saved by the prince. I never wanted to be a queen. None of that. But there was one story. There was one story that really touched me deep in my heart since the moment I've heard it. And even though I didn't remember the whole course of the story, I remember there was a girl in that story. When she spoke, the roses and diamonds were falling from her mouth to people. And when I heard that story, I identified right away, this is who I wanted to be. I was like, I want, when I speak, roses and diamonds to come out from me. I want to be that person. I want to be that entity. But I never told this to anybody, because what a weird way to give roses and diamonds to people, right? You could be a princess, for example, and have this beautiful kingdom and tell people to go and give people in your kingdom roses and diamonds, or you just hand it out. But no, this is not what I wanted. I wanted roses and diamonds to fall off my mouth. So I never shared it with anybody. And when I did a lot of trainings about self-discovery, as I told you, every training out there about self-discovery, understanding yourself, understanding your behavior, understanding who you are, I did, because it's an extremely interesting subject for me. But I really, when they ask you who you want to be as a little girl, for me it was a ballerina, right? When Sarah did the Reiki on me, I understood somehow that it was not my wish and desire to be a ballerina at all. I really wanted to be a person who, when she speaks, roses and diamonds fall off her mouth, right? A kind of spooky, freaky thing that you don't want to share with people because it's kind of weird. And then I started a meditation, so the day after the Reiki. The next day I was purging a lot of emotions. I was very emotional, very like heavy. And I guess, you know, it's exactly like a skincare. You come for facial. If you have a lot of buildup underneath your skin, when you clean your skin, you're going to purge the next day. But then today you're going to clear up and your skin is going to look better than ever. I guess the same applies to the energetic healing too. The next day was very difficult. And then I'm sitting in a clarity, in meditation, and it comes to my mind. And the girls who are in my course, you will understand what I'm talking about. When girls are coming to my course, they come to learn how to do facelift manual. Yeah, it's definitely part of the course. The first thing I tell them is, ladies, you come here to learn how to lift faces, and I will definitely gonna teach you that because it's extremely important, but by far not all that you're gonna learn in this course. In this course, I'm going to teach you the pathway to success, and not to success in 20 years, but to success that is fast, that is evidential, that is quick, that is now. So basically, I put as much emphasis to make my students successful, and I program them for that. And in the end of the course, once I saw how they work and I approve how they work, I put them in front of my audience and I grow my audience so they could get clients right away. What does it give them? It gives them riches. It gives them ability to make their own schedule. It gives them ability to price their product, their work as they feel comfortable, deservingly comfortable. What is this? This is diamonds, right? And through what I teach them to get their diamonds, through beauty, roses. Here we have roses and here we have diamonds. And how do I deliver roses and diamonds to the girls? Through my mouth, by talking to them. I mean, I'm telling this to you right now and my skin rises up. 50 years it took me to figure this out. That picture that I consistently had in front of my eyes, every time I thought who I want to be and what I want to do, I wanted to be a person from whose mouth comes out roses and diamonds. Not the princess, not the queen, not the beauty queen, none of that. I wanted to deliver riches and beauty through my mouth. And in the end, that's exactly what I'm doing right now. And if a girl really listens to me when she takes my course, she gets clients right away. And if she pays attention, she will become successful 100%. Why couldn't I stop just by teaching her doing facial? Because that's not the path that would be complete for me. For my entity, from my mouth have to come out roses and have to come out diamonds. The beauty and learning has to be supported by wealth, by riches, by abundance, by something shiny, by something that's going to give her value. It is freaky to me that it took me 50 years to figure this out and finally find what I do. And honestly, every time I talk to the girls, we have 5 Zoom live meetings, I can't shut up. I only shut up because I have a time limitation for the recording of the course. This is natural for me. Think what's natural for you. Now, how to apply this to you. No matter how ridiculous you think your childhood dream is, let's say you wanted to be Queen of Sheba or Queen of Universe, doesn't matter. No matter how ridiculous you think your childhood dream is for you, it could be a clue to who you are and what you need to do. So many people fall into our profession because they couldn't find anything better to do. They think it's quick, easy, and glamorous. It's not. It's hard work, and the hardest work on yourself really more than on your clients before you come and touch your client. Sit and think, no matter how ridiculous you think your dream was as a child, what you wanted to do as a child. You can write it to me if you want to. Like, how much more ridiculous can you be than wanted roses and diamonds to fall off your mouth, right? Remember who you wanted to be before people told you who you want to be. Because I was so programmed into thinking that I wanted to be a ballerina, I actually believed it. Think who you want to be. Go into depth of this entity. Take it as a clue. Dissect it in tiny little pieces and see what's in there for you. I think when we are born, we have our authentic selves, and then people start to pollute us. Like, the examples is you want to be a ballerina, or you're not smart enough to be that or this, or you're too fat and now you have to, yes, I'm using my issues right now, or you have to starve yourself. If something is that difficult for you that you have to starve yourself for years and years, do you really have to be there? Like, my body was not meant to be a ballerina. Belly dancer, maybe. Ballerina, no. And it was difficult for me to stay there. Listen, I'm so grateful for the fact that I was there. I've learned so much. I had amazing education. I can bring the understanding of body and posture to you right now because I had that education, right? But deep, 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 deep inside, I wanted those roses and those diamonds to come out from my mouth. And it's very satisfying to me right now that in a way I'm able to do it. It seems like life brings you clues. Life brings you little dusts of diamonds that you have to catch, and you have to put them together to put the puzzle together for yourself. Try it on yourself. Try to remember back as much as possible to your dreams, to your hopes, whatever they are. Try to connect the dots. Not that we don't know subconsciously already everything about us, but the confirmation is a powerful thing. It's nice to have a confirmation that every time I felt that, that's what it was. It honestly opens new faucet of power for yourself. Once you discover this, stably discover something about yourself, and you don't doubt anymore what you used to doubt or question, it's a new faucet of discovery and self-assurance. I hope you're going to use this map, and I hope you're going to go back in your mind and in your soul and learn who you really, really meant to be. And I would love to hear it from you. If you're willing to share, you can put underneath what you think about it. Clearly, Sarah has helped me to do that. I will leave Sarah's Instagram underneath this video. Sarah, I'm so grateful to you. Thank you for your help, and now I can take your help and bring it to people, to my girls, and they can use it too. As I told you guys, please, video is not sponsored. Nobody pay me a single penny for this video. This video is just, for me, it's a jewel of its own, and it's a part of my diamond speaking when it comes from my mouth. Anyway, that was my discovery. I'm still thinking about it, and I would love to hear from you what you think about it. And has anything like this has happened to you before? If yes, and you're willing to share, I'll be so happy to read about it. As always, thank you so much for your time, for your attention. Love you all, and see you soon.